Welcome back to another episode of Not Even D2, the podcast covering Division III sports through interviews with those involved in Division III. Today we have star player at SUNY Canton, Natalie Bartle. Natalie's had a very unique career playing at the D1, D2, and currently at the Division III level. Hear about her college career, what she perceives to be the main differences in being an athlete at each level, and her historic 46-point and 26-rebound performance earlier this year. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's hear from Natalie. All right, I'm here with Natalie. How we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Feeling good. Thank you for taking your time and joining Not Even D2.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's get right into it. You've been at 4 schools since the 2018-2019 season, and I just want to start at the beginning, where you started, a little about their basketball program and why you left, and then transition to each school and go on into where you are right now.
Yeah, so I started off at Colorado Mesa. It was a D2 in Grand Junction. I was recruited this summer going into my senior year of high school. I had like a handful of D2 offers going into my senior year, and I committed, I think, in the fall of my senior year. I really liked it there. I liked the area. I liked my teammates. I liked the school. The reason I left was just basically the style of play. It was very structured. We had a lot of plays. I think I personally do better in more of a motion offense, just read your defender and react. And so I wasn't playing to my abilities there. So I transferred to Nebraska Omaha. That was a D1 in obviously Omaha, Nebraska. It was kind of just a similar situation. I didn't really fit into the style of play there, and I wanted to go closer to home because it was just easier to be closer to home with family and stuff. And so I went to Finlandia, and I was really happy there. I was only an hour and a half away from home. I had my family at all my games, which was really important to me. And that school ended up closing down in the spring semester. And so I had to find another place. I was planning on finishing my career there. And so I had to find another place. And my coach here at Canton was my club coach down in Arizona. And so I had this connection with him already. And having only one season left, I wanted to play for someone who I've already played for, who I like how he coaches. I like his style. So it was just an easy decision to come play here at Canton.
Yeah. So you've played at all 3 divisions, D1, D2, and D3. What can you say are the main differences in being a student athlete at the different levels?
I think the biggest difference is just the time commitment to it. There's, I guess, more expectations at higher levels. It's not really that you're doing more. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just more of a commitment type thing, I guess. We still do the film, we still do practice, we still have weights at every level. I think obviously the level of play gets better as you go up. At Omaha, I played some pretty intense games against really good competition. I played at Kansas while I was there. That was a really fun game. We played Iowa. That was really fun. But it's just the biggest thing is the level of play, I would say.
Yeah. Do you think your individual game elevates when you're playing against that, in quotes, better competition, or are you the same player regardless who's on the court?
I mean, ideally, I'd like to say I'm the same player no matter what, but I think personally I excel against harder competition. I don't know, I feel like it's that chip on your shoulder you have when you're playing someone you're not supposed to beat. And so I think I personally do better against harder competition. And I think the games are more fun too.
Yeah. So recently, Canton traveled to Alfred, and I got to see you in person play. But I want you to tell the viewers about how to describe your game and your type of basketball ability. What are you best at?
Um, I think I'm an attacker, an offensive attacker. I hyperextended my right elbow my junior year in Colorado, and I had to have it taped for half the season, pretty much at a 90-degree angle. So that really messed with my shot, but I still think I have a okay outside shot. I think I'm just more of an offensive mindseted player. I've really figured out my role with the scoring, I guess.
Let's talk about your scoring. So your scoring has evolved tremendously where your freshman year, you averaged around 5 points per game. Last year, you jumped to about 22 points per game. And then currently through your 7 games, you were averaging about 26. What have you been working on to allow yourself to be such an effective scorer?
I think it's just the experience of being in college. As a freshman, I was playing on a really high level Division II. We won our conference that year. We made it to I think one of the regional games. We were just a really successful Division II program. And so it's kind of intimidating jumping into that as a freshman, but I got to see some really solid players and like see what my expectations were um, as a college athlete. And so I think it was just honestly the experience of being on all these different teams, seeing all these different levels of play and like recognizing what my abilities are and like what I'm capable of being as an athlete.
Yeah. And playing at the Division 1 level compared to the Division 3 level, do you think that you have to play at a faster pace or take different shots, or can you describe a little bit about the differences in how you have to play individually to be successful at the D1 versus D3 level?
Um, I don't think it's necessarily the division because I think I was on a pretty solid Division 1 team in Omaha, and the team I'm at here now is doing really, really well. And so it's kind of similar. Like I didn't have to take a lot of shots in Omaha. I don't have to take a lot of shots here, which is obviously being proven now because my team is still doing extremely well. Shout out to them. I'm very proud of them. Um, yeah, so I think I've been on teams where like I'm the only one taking shots, and I've been on teams where um, there's people much better than me. Like as a freshman, I had to earn my trust and have a different role than I was used to coming out of my senior year of high school. And so it's just finding a role and yeah.
Yeah. And we just talked about how Canton's off to a good start. They're 12-3, but you recently tore your ACL. What is Natalie's mindset right now?
Um, I'm just trying to figure out what my plans are. My ultimate goal has always been to play overseas somewhere ever since I was 5 years old, started playing basketball. I've always wanted to play overseas. So I think coming off of an ACL and immediately trying to play overseas is tough because it's not going to look great. I just have to prove myself that I can, still perform after this injury. And so I would like to play another season. I just have to go through these steps. It's a medical hardship waiver, and I'm going to go through those steps and just hope for the best that I can get an opportunity to play again.
Yeah. And if that hardship is granted, do you plan on returning to Canton or are you looking elsewhere?
I would return here for sure.
Yeah, I respect it. Let's take a quick break real quick. All right, we're back with Natalie, and you've had some impressive performances at each level. You had 25 at the Division 2 level as a freshman. You had 18 points against a powerhouse in Kansas, Division 1, and you had 46 points and 26 rebounds in one game at the D3 level. What has been your favorite performance up to this date?
Um, I mean, they're all special in like their own way. I think my freshman year I was trying to find my role on the team, figuring out this new system, this faster pace. So having a big game as a freshman like that is kind of like a boost, because being a freshman on a college team can be kind of hard and intimidating. So that was really special. And then, like I said before, playing at Kansas was just a crazy environment. It was on ESPN, which was super cool. Like it's just being there was cool. So to have a big game against that level of team was super exciting. And then the game this year, I've never had a game like that. So it was just super cool to get to do it here. I had get to do it with this coach that I've previously played with. Like I already have a really good bond with him. So to get to do that with him was super special. So they're all special in their own way, I would say.
Yeah. Was that game at Kansas?
Yeah.
So did they have like a big crowd there?
It wasn't a super big crowd, but their arena is just
Beautiful.
it's crazy.
Do you feel
It could have
that
been
like,
completely empty and I would have been happy.
yeah. Do you feel that with bigger crowds or a game where you know you're playing at a big school, get you nervous, or are you just like even keeled no matter where you are and as long as you're in between those lines?
No, I live for big crowds. It gets me going. The high school I graduated from in Michigan. I'm from a really, really small town, but sports are a big deal there. So my varsity team, my senior year, women's team, we went 20-0, and they still pack to this day, but we would pack that gym, and it was just, I love that environment. I think that's what did it for me, is just playing for that team and the support system.
Yeah, I love it. 20-0 though, so you're not used to losing. How do you think your high school experience going 20-0 changed your outlook on college basketball as a whole?
Um, well, it was a good start. We were 20-0 and we ended up losing the first round of playoffs, which was pretty devastating. I think the loss in the playoffs kind of stuck with me more because you always got to finish. That's my mindset from that. Like, yeah, we went 20-0, but we lost that first game and when it really mattered. So it doesn't matter until the end. So I guess that's the biggest thing I took from that into college.
Yeah, let's circle back to the 46 point and 26 rebound performance. I don't want to just skip over that because that is crazy. What were the emotions that day? Was there anything special? And then talk a little about that game and why you were so dominant.
I don't know. It was nothing special before, anything like that. It was just a regular game. Clarkson is a solid team. We had the right mindset going in. As for the game itself, I was just playing. I had no idea. I found out after the game, like no one really even knew. Um, I was just shocked, I guess. It just felt like it was a normal game. Um, I wasn't doing anything crazy in my mind. I was just playing basketball.
Yeah. So you come off that performance. Are you now going, were you going into every game, this is my standard, or like, how do you move on from such a dominant performance like that?
I mean, I don't think it was my standard. I think I realized like what I'm capable of. I think like I knew I was capable of doing more, and that just proved it to me. So I went into games after that with just the mindset that I can always do more. Like as a 5'6" guard, the 26 rebounds, like I'm not gonna average that, or I'm not gonna average close to that, but I'm capable of doing that. So my rebound should be up, like stuff like that. It's not just like the scoring. I wasn't trying to like that wasn't my standard, I guess.
Yeah, respect. And lastly, you lost both your siblings during college. Sorry to hear that, by the way. How were you able to remain focused and continue to be an effective basketball player while dealing with all of that, plus moving schools?
Um, I think it's just a live for them type of thing. you just got to keep moving forward and appreciate every day I have. I lost my second brother right before this year, and I remember before coming to Canton, I just told myself like I was going to play for them this year, and so to have that big game was really special because I know I did it for them.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. We're gonna end this episode with a little rapid fire and starting 5 edition. Let me know when you're ready for the rapid fire.
I'm ready.
All right. Not your favorite school, but the school you've been at that's been the most fun.
I gotta say this year I have a really good core group of friends here. It's super fun. We're in a very small town, so we're creative with what we have to do, but I have a really good time with this group.
Yeah. Shout out Canton. Favorite artist right now?
Matt Mason, not the country singer, the other one. He's smaller, but I love him. My ride or die.
What genre is that? I've never heard of him.
I don't even know what he would be considered.
Matt
I don't
Mason.
know.
I'll look him up.
I think it's alternative, maybe.
Okay. I got you.
Something like that.
And then your biggest inspiration?
My brothers.
Respect. All right. This edition is starting 5. So if you were a coach, who would your starting 5 be? And this edition is going to be teammates from any school in your college career.
Okay.
And just give like a sentence or two about what you like so much about this specific player.
Okay. I would pick my point guard this year, Sierra. She's crafty little guard with a nasty pull-up jumper. I'm sure you remember her at Alfred. She's only a freshman and she's going to be great. My 2 would probably be Jalen Duran from Colorado. She was a senior my freshman year, so I only played with her 1 year, but she was just a gamer. She was nasty. And then my 3, Danny Turner, also from Colorado. She also had a pretty nice pull-up jumper. She played overseas. Then at 4, I'd say Josie Filer from Omaha. She ended up playing at University of Illinois, I think, after Omaha. Did really well there. And then my 5, Elena, I'm going to mess up her last name, Pila Kuda.
Okay.
She's just a beast. She was from Omaha.
That sounds like a dope starting 5. And I like that it featured players from all 3 divisions. So that's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just because I'm curious, where do you want to play overseas, or it doesn't really matter?
Doesn't matter.
Just looking to hoop.
Yep. Just want to play.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of Not Even D2. I appreciate your time, Natalie, and we're hoping for fast recovery.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too.